Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
So here's what's different this morning. We have a dew point value that is slightly lower than it was yesterday and an air temperature that's a couple of degrees lower than it was yesterday. So some could argue that the sensible feel to the air today is a little crisper. I don't know. You'd have to really be able to draw some fine distinctions between how things feel out there this morning as compared to yesterday. But we do have kind of a mix of sun, or not sun quite yet, but we will have sun, clear skies and cloud cover across the region. We have a relative humidity of 84% and an east-northeast wind at about 7. The east-northeast wind is pretty consistent wherever you look, coming in generally with an easterly direction across the entire Florida peninsula. That will shift a little bit, I think, to the southeast as we head into the afternoon. Good news here on the red tide status front from Mote Marine once again, sampling the various beaches across the Suncoast, all of them reporting no red tide toxins in the air. So we're glad to see that. Now, that does not mean that there's no red tide in the waters, though the last report did show that most everywhere the concentrations were either very low or absent, with only central Sarasota showing some moderate amounts of red tide in the water. But the general drift is away from shore, with this southeast to east wind being kind of consistent over the last several days. So good news there. We'll get an updated report on the red tide in the water coming tomorrow. So we'll, of course, bring that to you. Otherwise, a little bit of cloud cover across the region from time to time this morning, caused by this activity out in Gulf waters, non-tropical in nature. Not really too worried about that one, but it is producing the cloud cover that we see across the region. It's not any kind of rain-producing cloud, though. High pressure nosing in from the Atlantic drives our weather again today. A cold front carving its way through the heartland this morning is going to bring a bout of severe weather anywhere from Indianapolis on up through Cincinnati and into Cleveland a little bit later on this afternoon, probably between the hours of about 1 o'clock in the afternoon and maybe about 9 o'clock tonight. Otherwise, for us, high pressure's the main weather driver. A deep southeasterly wind flow produces fair weather for us, with only an isolated shower later in the day as it's under the influence of that sinking dome of high pressure. Like the last couple of days, we saw maybe a spritz of rainfall. Certainly no drought-busting rains in the forecast for today. And the amount of coverage of the sprinkles that might occur a little bit later on, probably less than it was 24 hours ago. So maybe around the mouth of Charlotte Harbor you might see an isolated shower, but most of us will not. Sea breeze will continue to keep the coast a little bit cooler, and with that lower amount of red tide toxin in the air, be a beautiful sunset tonight, I think. Cool front moves in on Monday, and that's what we'll be waiting for in terms of good rainfall chances. Titan radar not showing anything locally. A few scattered showers over on the other coast, but nothing that really concerns us. Airport hubs of the Deep South all look good this morning. It's that one back to the west associated with that cold front I just showed you that we're a little bit concerned about as it moves closer to areas of Indianapolis later in the day. There'll be a bullseye location for severe weather, mostly strong storms with gusty winds and hail. For us, no thunderstorms in the forecast for today or for the next several days. Watch the RPM computer model put into motion. Be lucky to see any showers, and mostly to the south of us. Forecast calls for a daytime high above average once again, coming in at about 85 over the next several days. Best chance of rain Monday.